Greetings, planty people, and welcome back to my jungle. So, today's video has been put off for a very, very long time. I have so many plant chores to do that it's a tad ridiculous. Like, I'm surrounded by so many jobs and it's a tad overwhelming. So, as a distraction, I asked all you lovely people on Instagram for some questions, plant related and not plant related, so I'll be answering them throughout the video. You know when you just have so much to do, it's a bit like, but here we are. So, I hope you've had a lovely day. Maybe get yourself a drink or a snack or just join in with me. I like to do plant chores with people on in the background. I think it's my favourite thing to do. Keeps me distracted, keeps the brain working, but it also makes me feel a bit more productive. So let me know if you're exactly the same. Shall we get started? Right, so I've got my piano stool here that I use as my plant table to do plant chores on. As you can see, she's very used. She's very used. But I need to do my little plant mat, otherwise I'll make a massive mess. I still will make a massive mess regardless, but it helps a little bit. Stern, that'll do. That will do. So I'm just going to get everything ready and we'll get going. Now the question is, what do I start with? Do I start with the smaller tasks or the bigger tasks? I think I'm going to go with a medium task. So look at this girl. She is gorgeous. So this is my Syngonium albo. She's getting really big. I didn't realise how big she was actually getting, but as you can see, it's literally one stalk. But I think I might keep it like that and just see how tall I can get it. So this was actually a reverted cutting I got from Etsy a couple of years ago now, and it's recently just started to take off, and it was a bit of a gamble buying a reverted one because you're not really sure if the variegation will come back, but as you can tell, it clearly did. There was a previous leaf before this one that had like a tiny sport variegation, but look, just make sure to give it plenty of light and it'll do its little thing. And yeah, maybe it's worth the risk sometimes, just giving it a gamble. They do sell them off cheaper, which is always a plus. Okay, I'm just going to unravel the doings. Also, I've got the window open, so you've got a nice ambience. Oh, wee! So you've got a nice ambience of the garden. There's lots of birds like flying around, so that's nice. But if it does rain, I will have to close the window because it gets quite loud. Shall we go with the question? Right, these are all from Instagram. There are about 3 pages. Then again, I do have really big handwriting, but thank you everyone who's asked questions. Let's get going. So I'm moving uni soon and I want to keep my plants happy with me. Any tips? Ooh. So do you mean like traveling with them, packing them and moving them, or do you mean moving them to an environment? So we'll answer both. So I've actually never had to move a big chunk of my plants. I actually do in fact dread the day. So I'm just going to say you're going to need a lot of packing materials. Try and maybe get loads of recycled boxes. You can basically get boxes from any shop if you ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. So get yourself a whole load of paper, like recycled paper that you can kind of stuff it with. You just really want to pad it all out basically. Ooh, look at that, look at that. You want to pad it all out, make sure your plants aren't going to move around too much. I've only packed small plants for like deliveries and stuff. That's a really long route. So I can't speak on that behalf, but maybe hire a van. Or, I don't know how many plants you have, but travel I feel like is really important. Just make sure they're nice and padded out. Maybe do a couple trips if you have lots, and just don't overwhelm yourself. Maybe do it gradually. And for moving them to an environment, I'm just going to put my used soil in here, maybe use it later. Moving to a new environment with plants, you might get a few stressed out plants, like you're moving it from different temperature, different humidity, just different in general, so your plants will probably panic a little bit. So don't panic yourself, just try and replicate how exactly you had your plants before and don't stress yourself out too much with it. Just kind of move things around, see what they like, because they might like complete different conditions in their new environment. But yeah, I've never had to kind of move my plants around from here, so I can't speak for you, but that's what I would do. Just let them have a little acclimation period. You might get a few shedding leaves, just to make sure they don't dry out via transit, however you're delivering them, and just kind of don't put too much pressure on yourself. I know that's a bit of a wishy-washy answer, but that's the best I can do with this scenario. Okay, so do we go for a bigger pot or do we just change the soil? I'm thinking a slightly bigger pot, but a clear one so I can keep an eye on the roots, because I had a little bit of trouble with this one drying out a little bit too much because it was in a small pot, but I want to keep an eye on them. But we're just going to use the Soil Ninja base mix, and I've added lots of cocoa chips in there because I want it nice and chunky. Oh, this is a good one. How do you deal with getting overwhelmed with your plants? Now, I am the queen of getting overwhelmed, and the key is to do it all in bits. And don't beat yourself up if you really can't be bothered to do plant chores the one day. I'm a prime example. This is why I'm doing it all now, because I've been putting it off for quite a while. My plants have been kind of screaming at me that they've been needing to be repotted. But don't force it if you can't. It's not the end of the world if a plant has a bit of a hissy fit with you. Maybe if you have more kind of expensive and more quirky plants, maybe prioritise them more than the others, or the ones that you care about the most, like the sentimental ones. And just don't force it. Don't force it. With watering, I do it all in bits, so I don't have like a specific watering day. I just kind of water one when it kind of needs it. I just kind of have a look every few days, pour a little bit of water, sometimes even from a water bottle, because I only really drink water. I just tip it in. I don't really have a routine. I feel like that's the best way, because if you leave it all to one day, if you're like me, that's going to put you off. But if you like a routine, go for it. Where did I put the stick? Okay, so this will need a bigger stick, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to pop it in for now. So as you can see, I do need a bigger stick, but that's for next time. That's for next time. Then we're going to top it off a little bit. But every so often I do get a bit of burnout with it, and I just I take a note of what I need to do. I don't pressure myself too much. I maybe do like 1 or 2 little tasks, like sweeping up a little bit, because there's always soil, as you know, if you've got plants. Or just like to water 1 or 2 plants. Don't overthink it. One day is not gonna hurt. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And if you do get overwhelmed, focus on yourself, because that's more important at the end of the day. I'm just gonna press it down so it's stable. Eventually I will upgrade this to a moss pole, but for now this is fine, because it's still, I know it's quite tall, but it's still quite juvenile, so put you on there. Press it down again. See, I like how you can see the roots in there. And then I'm just going to pop it in this for now. There you go. This was just like a random pot that I got with a plant that is no longer with us. So there you go. I still kill plants here and there. Don't pressure yourself. It's all good. Ta-da! Love her. Big fan. Let's go for another kind of tall one that needs a bit of a makeover. So this is my Philodendron Glorious that Soil Ninja gave me at a plant swap a while ago. I've had a bit of trouble with this plant because it's a bit like a melanochrysum. I'm not sure if that's what it's mixed with, can't remember. But as you can see here, you see that little hole in the leaf? It's been struggling to put out full leaves. They keep getting caught in there like the melanochrysum does. I really like this one. So, also, would you ever get into outdoor gardening? You have witchy garden vibes. Thank you. That is such a compliment. You don't understand. And also, love your channel, Queen. Stop it. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? I do dabble a little bit in outdoor gardening. Not loads, because that's kind of, well, my parents' cup of tea. I'm more definitely indoor, as you can tell. But I do appreciate outdoor plants too. Like there's this profile, what's she called? I think she's just called like My Goth Garden. I see it on TikTok all the time and I'm like, wow, she only has black plants, and that's a bit of me, that. But I do like a pop of colour. I do like a pop of colour. Okay, so I've got a selection of pots that I just realised are all the same size. Let's have a look at the roots first. But yeah, I do have some chili plants growing, but they're technically indoors because, you know, we don't have the best weather, and I do really well on a windowsill. So at the moment I've got, I think, some habanero, some cayenne. I think I also planted some chives, but I can't remember. But eventually when I move house, I would love to have a wonderful flower garden. I'm really into growing herbs and stuff like that, which I guess is where the witchy thing comes from. Bit of leca fell on the floor. I think I'm gonna, those roots aren't looking amazing, I'm not gonna lie to you. Do I put it in? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in a wider one instead of it being so narrow, and do the moss pole a bit better. I'm gonna put some of the old soil back in there because I haven't repotted that in a very long time. I might reuse some of it and mix some new soil into it, but for now that'll do. Maybe save a few of the cocoa chips. Pour some in, pop you in. There we go. Pop the moss pole in there, and then we can secure you on a little bit better because she was a little bit wonky. You know what? I'm so tired at the moment, and I'll tell you for why. Last night, someone was having a party down the road in their back garden, and it was quite muggy and warm last night, so I had to have my windows open. I overheat really quickly, especially at night time, because I'm a little goblin and I like to burrow under my blankets. I can't sleep without a blanket. I'm one of them people. But look, I can look past it if it's about 10 o'clock, but any later than that, then you're just being rude. They were singing, like, it's getting hot in here. I was like, yeah, that's fun, but not when I'm trying to sleep. Not when I'm trying to sleep. Like, some people have to wake up really early in the morning and you're just being so inconsiderate. Like, I was getting so angry. And they kept me up till about 1 o'clock. So that's fabulous. Fabulous. I tried to block them out on my headphones, then I couldn't get comfy, then So yeah, what's your opinion on that? What's the latest it's acceptable to have an outdoor party when you're surrounded by other houses? I'm curious, because obviously I'm quite sensitive to sound, but I just think it's common sense. Don't be loud on a weekday, a Wednesday, till 1 o'clock at night. Just take the party inside at that point, come on. You're just gonna get bitten by mosquitoes. Well, I do, I'm like a mosquito magnet. Okay, so the next question. Did you take lessons for piano or did you teach yourself? So, bit of both. So it all started with my parents getting me a second-hand keyboard when I was about, let me think, 6? So I'll do like little plinky plonky things like playing the Casualty theme tune, you know how it is. And then I had lessons, keyboard lessons, are different to piano, for a year or two. But that's when I kind of discovered that I play by ear, and he was trying to teach me music theory, so that's like reading notation and all that jazz. That's not my cup of tea. And I was just kind of remembering it all and just like, that's just not how my brain worked. So eventually I ended that. He was a lovely guy, it just wasn't how I learn, which is fine. And then I just started playing songs from YouTube, just like watching people play, and then that kind of just spiraled into me like listening to a song and then trying to figure it out myself. And now I can pretty much, if I can hear a song in my head, I can most likely play it. Maybe not well, but that's just kind of how I do it. Like, I can kind of visualize where it's going to be, map it out, play it. Thing is with piano, it's all patterns. It's all patterns. And if you're good with pattern recognition, you probably might be good at an instrument. You never know. It's all patterns. Like on the bass, I used to play bass. It's all about scales. But if it sounds right, it's probably right. Does that make sense? I would love to learn some more instruments, but quite simply, I don't have the time. Like, I play the bass self-taught, but I'm not amazing. Just like the basics, if you pardon the pun. And there we go, look at her. Do I have a plant pot for her? Probably not. That's gonna have to do for now. See, I don't really care if it kind of sticks out a little bit. Can maybe tuck that over a little bit. Ooh, this is getting fiddly. I don't really care. Fabulous. I do need to wet that moss pole though soon, so I'm probably gonna give all my plants a shower soon because I've noticed a few spider mites. So we've got a few from Adam. Hey King, if you're watching. We've kind of like befriended each other on TikTok. Fave and least favourite plant, more about me, and oh, TikTok versus YouTube. Okay, let's start with the first one. Fave and least favourite plant. In general or at the moment? I think we all know I'm a croton hater. So that's going to be my least favourite. But my favourite at the moment, Begonia ferox. If you know me, you knew I was going to say that. Look at that. Look at the spikes. People don't believe that this is a real plant. And to be fair, when I first saw it on Pinterest, I was like, ah, that's not real. That's AI. Bloody AI at the moment. So here we have my Philodendron Florida Ghost. Sorry, I had to think then. Like I said, I'm tired. Leave me alone. So I got this from a swap quite a while ago. I think it was like the last swap. Oh no, a bit of spider mite. I'm gonna have to spray you shortly. And it was just kind of a stump because it got trashed on the way back in my little trolley. Got a bit squished. So we're gonna have a look at the roots because it started to grow again. But it also doesn't look like it's the right proportions. So let's have a look. Ooh, okay. We're rootin' tootin'. I think that this is the appropriate size, but I'm going to do a soil refresh, see if that helps, and maybe kind of put it in a little bit more. But yeah, let me know what your least and most favourite plant is at the moment. I'm curious because everyone's so different. I find it very interesting. Sometimes it's more appearance based, sometimes it's more experience based. And okay, a little bit about me. See, I always find that question so tricky because I don't know. I'm just me. I'm an Aquarius. My favourite hobby is piano. Second, probably plants. I also play bass. I'm in a band. We're having a bit of a hiatus at the moment because we had a bit of a rebrand, but we're coming back. Don't you guys worry. I'll be posting about it soon-ish, soon. So we're like an all-girl queer band. Rock on. It's kind of like a bit rocky, a bit grunge, but a bit Wolf Alice vibe. I don't know how to describe it to you. That sounded extremely pretentious, but you'll know what I mean. I'm half Dutch, so my mum's from the Netherlands, half Brummie, woy, yes bab. So it's a bit of a mix. And then because of my Dutch blood, I'm 5'9". I don't know if I give tall energy, but I'm quite like, well, my posture's not amazing, so I don't always look as tall, but I do like to wear platform shoes like all the time. Like I wore my normal shoes yesterday and I felt really weird walking. I felt like a little creature. Another thing about me, I've had a lot of hobbies. I'm one of them people that just kind of bounces around, and the only hobby that's really stuck, well, the only two hobbies that have stuck are music and plants, so that's nice. that's good to know. I do love a concert, but I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so my connective tissue is awful and my bones kind of come out all the time. So that's not nice. I love live music, but my body just doesn't. So when I went to see Ghost a few months back, I was seating and I've never been more thankful in my life. So if you do struggle with just joint pain or body pain in general and you want to go to a concert and you're worried about it, trust me, get seating. Because by the time the support act's on, my legs are just... Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a bit of a tricky one because it's kind of like a hidden disability, but it's kind of not. Like I could do this because my skin's so stretchy and I'm just so flexible. It's a blessing and a curse. I can pop the splits out anytime I want, but I did injure my arm brushing my own hair yesterday. I was doing this, arm came out. So if you've got any tips, anyone that has that, if you've got any tips, I'm going to use some of this old soil. But yeah, go back to Ghost. Ghost is my favourite band. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but that's totally fine. It's totally fine. We like what we like. I also bounce between genres quite a lot. So my main genres are like rock, metal, but I do like a bit of pop. My favourite pop star is Marina in the Diamonds. I know she's rebranded just as Marina, but her recent album's just come out and it's like, yes, queen. But then I also bounce between my old emo playlists. So I recently saw Elliot Minor, which was living my little emo fantasy. It was so funny just to see loads of like elder emos. Just fabulous. Fabulous. But when it got to the last song, because I'd been at work that day, it was past dinner time, and I'm quite prone to getting quite fainty. It was my favourite song right at the end, and I was like, here I go. I know when I'm about to faint, so I quickly like ran to the bar and was like, water. And the last song I was like, oh no. So I was just like holding onto the table, just like, I must stay for the last song. I survived, I didn't pass out, I know the signs, but make sure you eat enough before your gig, make sure you drink enough water. That's all I can say. And don't overheat, it was very warm in there, so sweaty. Ugh. Anything else about me? I have a cat called Merlin. He's gorgeous, he's a little weirdo. He's semi-feral, he's a rescue. We've only ever had rescue cats. I've got a praying mantis called Persephone. I've spoken about her quite a lot. I also have some isopods. I really want to get a jumping spider, but everyone I know is very against that. But at the same time, that makes me want to do it more. What do I like to watch? See, I'm one of them people that likes to rewatch things. I find it very hard to watch new things. I think that's just a classic autistic thing where it's like, I know what to expect. I know that I like it. But if there is something like that sad really happens in it or something bad, skip. Which is weird because I love horror films. Make it make sense. I don't know. If you know the psychology behind that, let me know. So there we go. She's looking good. I'm actually really proud of that. I've given it a lot of light. It lives back there, and as you can see, there's a window right there, so that's fab. Oh, I just had to run to the garden to get some more pots because I just realised I forgot to get them. Last thing about me, I'm very scatterbrained. So I'm going to move this back so you can see. See if you can guess. She's my favourite plant. I've mentioned her a lot. Well, she's not my favourite plant. She's one of my favourites. So it's not the ferox. It's a bigger one. Are you ready? Do you know me well? There she is, she's getting really big. She's a bit thirsty, but I let her dry out a little bit because I'm going to repot her because I haven't in a while. So this is my Syngonium chiapense. As you can see here, do you see the little nub? I did chop a piece off that I'm currently propagating so I can pass them on to my friends. I love this plant a lot. How can you not love that leaf? Isn't that like really jungle vibe? Not enough people have this plant. I just think it's fabulous. It's an absolute dream. If you're a little bit scared of Syngonium, don't be. This one is more like a philodendron. That's how I treat it, and it loves it. So I've currently got it on this fibre pole, not a moss pole, and we're going to repot it basically. And the pole's a bit wonky anyway, so let's have a look. And while we do this, TikTok versus YouTube. Ooh, that's a really good one. Right. I'm going to really annoy you with these answers, but it depends. Because they're so different, I use them for different times. Like TikTok, when I'm on the train, you know, a little bit before bed. YouTube. Well, I fall asleep to YouTube. This is probably going to freak some of you out, but I fall asleep to ghost videos or like creepy facts. I need white noise to fall asleep to. And if it's something that interests me, but not too much, I'll be asleep, otherwise my brain's going or like a song on repeat or something embarrassing I did at school many moons ago. So having something spooky in the background doesn't freak me out. If anything, I love it. So I do love YouTube for that, but I also love just watching videos while I'm eating my dinner or having a snack or in the background while I'm doing tidying or a craft of some kind. I can't pick one. Because I post on both. I like that TikTok's like short form, quick, bish bash bosh, but I like how YouTube's a bit more chill. So it really depends on my attention spans, the answer that I'm going to give you, but I love both. I'm going to put you there so you can have a look. Now, oh, some of the roots have actually grown into it, so I feel a bit bad. Actually, shall I just keep it on? I'm going to keep it on it because I don't want to rip anything off. So, carefully with it. Ooh. No, I haven't repotted this in a while. And I probably should have sooner. Like I said before, I was putting it off. Now that is exactly what I was expecting. Isn't that a bit silly? Oh my god. Yeah, I definitely need a repot, and I'm going to give you the bigger pot. See, now I don't want to disturb the roots too much, so what I'm going to do is going to take some of the soil off, because these roots are a little bit smaller. going to do this. And this goes well with a question that I was going to answer. Wow, there's so that I can't break that up too much. You hear all the leca just going everywhere. Yes, I'm a messy girl, not a clean girl. So, do I clean all the soil off the roots, or just if when you have root issues? Now, that also depends. That also depends. I'm quite lazy with it, I'm not going to lie to you. Most of the time I'll leave some of the soil on because I don't like to disturb the roots too much. Some people take off all the soil and wash it and stuff, but I don't want to stress it out. Like, imagine how stressful this is. You're a plant and you're just like, your body's being removed. No thanks. So I'm going to keep that ball and just kind of top it up with some soil around it. We're going to use some new soil. I'm going to put you there because I don't want to put it down. What I usually do is put some soil in the bottom. If you're doing like a semi-hydro thing, definitely rinse every single bit of soil off your roots. Now, I don't know enough about semi-hydro yet. I need to experiment more, but that's literally what everyone says. From all the tutorials I've watched, everyone says wash the roots pristinely, if that's a word. I will probably clean the roots if there's a bit of root rot, just so I can see where the issues are. I'll probably like rinse it under the tap, have a feel, because you can kind of feel when there is root rot because it will kind of like piece off and it stinks. So do that. So hopefully this will get even bigger now that I've added some new soil, because it's probably sucked all those nutrients dry, to be honest with you. Okay, so next question while I do this. What do you do for a living? By the way, I love your content. Thanks, Queen. I try. So, I work at a plant shop. On brand. So on brand. It's literally the only job that I've ever actually really enjoyed. But yeah, I do love it. Thing is, I'm extra covered in soil, but I do just love talking to all the customers about plants, having a bit of a geek out, because you don't always expect someone in a shop to know stuff. So when they're like, can I ask you a question? I'm like, please, let me talk to you about plants and let's become friends. I've made a few friends from the shop actually, so that's really fun. Okay, so what's your fave species to collect? Like genus, I assume? Obviously philodendron. Come on, guys, come on. There are just so many different types. The majority of them are very easy to look after. I'm going to put some of this old soil in just to mix it up because it's chunky. Obviously, I think, dare I say, begonia is becoming a second. So I used to say alocasia, but I've had a bit of a rocky history with them, so they've been pushed back a little bit. They're in the queue, so we'll see how that goes. But begonia deserves so much more love. I'm going to say it. People need to love begonia more. There are more types than you actually know. A lot of them are more kind of terrarium based, so if you're into terrariums, there are so many begonia for that, and they're usually like the really cool quirky looking ones. Do love a syngonium, obviously, but I have more philodendron, so I'm going to say philodendron. Let me know what your favourite genus to collect is, and if you say Hoya, I respect that. You're one of the rogue ones, respect. Okay, so my phone has very rudely told me I have no space left, so we'll do one more plant chore. I'm glad that I've got most of it out the way. So my last little chore, where have I put you? I've got a little box of alocasia polycorms because I saved one from the garden centre the other day, repotted it and completely forgot to film it. So I've got loads of these little babies, and I've also got some moss. So yeah, here we've just got some sphagnum moss in a little pot. We're just going to plant them in. So you want to put the little tip up. So do you see that little bit? That goes up. And then gently place it in. And should do one more question while I place these in this little adorable little cup. Always reuse your cups, guys. They come very handy with plant chores. So, what's a plant that you cannot keep alive no matter how many times you try? Let's see if you can guess. What could it be? alocasia fried egg. Yes, you're right. I've tried so many times that I'm having a break from her at the moment. I've tried her in soil, semi-hydro, leca and moss. She hates me. So, got any tips? Let me know. And don't say semi-hydro because I've tried it. I don't get on with her. I think she sees me coming, she's like, no, you're the alocasia fried egg killer. And she's right. I just don't get on with her. And that's that. I'll try again in the future, don't you guys worry. But I know a lot of you guys do struggle with them as well. They're just very delicate. They rot so easily. It's like, no thanks, no thanks. How many have I got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 little corms in here. The rest of these, I'm just gonna chuck in my prop box and see what happens, because I've got so many. I'm just on it to experiment really. So I'm gonna put a little lid on this. Here you go, just like a little plastic lid. Recycle. And there is 2 little holes at the top there to keep it vented. Now this moss, can't talk, this moss is slightly wet. You don't want it like sopping wet, you just kind of want it spongy. You're gonna hate me, moist. Right, yes, thank you for staying with me on my chaotic plant repotting sesh. I appreciate all the questions and the support. I'm gonna do a huge tidy now, but I'm absolutely starving, so maybe I'll eat first. We'll see how that goes. I'll leave all my social medias down below. Let me know if you've got any more questions that I can answer in the comments. Like I said before, love you all. Have a lovely day, evening, wherever it is, wherever you are. Oh, and it's just started to rain. Bye-bye.